Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be doing episode number, I believe, 15 of I Build Your Teams, the series where I build my viewers' teams into the best teams possible for my team unlimited and/or competitive play based on how much MT they have and what their squads are currently looking like. Now, before we hop into the video, if you haven't, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 3,000 subscriber mark on the channel. We're less than 230 subscribers away, and I would love to hit that in the next month or two, and I really would appreciate your support if you haven't already, if you do subscribe. Typically, I upload every single day, but I will admit I haven't uploaded in like 3 or 4 days because I basically took a significant break for Christmas. I went out of town, I spent time with my family, and I enjoyed taking a break from the game, not streaming, not uploading for just a few days, and I really do appreciate y'all bearing with me and letting me not upload for just a few days. But we're right back to it. Daily uploads are returning, likely multiple uploads a day as well on a lot of days, and yeah, I'm excited to get right back to it. So without further ado, let's not waste any time. Let's hop into it and see what we can do with some teams today. First team today comes in from Firestorm. He's got 90k-ish, likes to 3 out when he needs help offensively with Trae Young, and he's willing to replace some guys, give him his honest thoughts about his squad. Love your videos, keep up the good work. I appreciate that. Looking at the squad, in all honesty, please sell Trae Young. I mean, you can like to trade 300 with him, but like Sexton can 300 better. He's got better SIGs. Just sell the card. He's going to free up MT for you by selling the card. Everything else, I don't mind it, to be completely honest. I think Paul George might be a bit expensive for what he's giving you on the court. I think you could potentially sell him and pick up a slightly cheaper option at the 3, which potentially frees you up more with your MT. Bill Russell is a guy I would probably swap out for a guy like George Mikan, because I think Mikan gives you more overall than Bill Russell does, but honestly, either one works at the center position. Mobley is great. Your 4s are good with Draymond and Scottie Pippen both being elite defenders who can shoot the ball at a high level. AK and PG also really good defenders. Your 2s are super solid, and your 1s are not bad as well. But for me personally, the biggest thing that I would probably look to upgrade is sell Trae Young and then sell De'Aaron Fox and pick up a guy like Penny Hardaway. You can run Penny as your starting point guard, Colin Sexton off the bench. It's going to give you better size to your squad, and honestly probably not cost you a ton of MT, because after selling Trae Young and De'Aaron Fox, I'm sure that selling those 2 guys probably gives you enough MT to pick up a Penny Hardaway, and then you're going to be able to have that Penny Hardaway and still have a solid amount of MT to continue to save, continue to work on, and continue to upgrade your squad with those top budget players like a Draymond Green and guys like that. So definitely a solid squad. You make that upgrade, you get yourself a new point guard like Penny Hardaway, who's going to give you the ability to compete more in terms of size, and I think you're going to be looking at a really, really good squad. Next today comes in from Hero. He's got his entire starting lineup badged. Harden's also badged, 200k MT, and he's running Hero in his last 3 because Hero's his favorite player, which I'm totally cool with. If Hero's your favorite player, definitely leave him in the final 3. I think that's totally cool. But I do like the way you have your 10-man setup. Definitely a solid squad. Really good budget, guys. You got all the budget players that are worth picking up, I think. One thing I will say, 200k MT, I think, I don't know, but you could upgrade Dame to a guy like Magic if you want to continue in that, like having the size at point guard, because I do think overall Magic is probably the best point guard in the game, but he's definitely going to be an expensive upgrade, not a necessary upgrade, and I don't think you have to do anything with this squad. Another way you could potentially go is looking to pick up a guy like Kawhi Leonard. You could play Kawhi Leonard at your starting 3, and then all of a sudden you can play Rudy at the 4, Draymond comes off the bench at the 4, you move Jaren to the 5, you should play Russell or Mikan and Jaren as your 5, you sell Bill Russell, stuff like that. You can go a couple of different ways with this team, whether that's picking up Magic, whether that's picking up Kawhi, or whether that's not doing anything and continuing with the squad the way that it is and saving your MT. Definitely pretty flexible, but I like the way the squad is set up. It's a good budget team already, so I'm not going to say that any net upgrades are necessary, but you definitely have a few options if you do want to upgrade your squad. Next today comes in from Pez. He says on both gens, nobody spent 250k. Not sure if he's going to go for J Rich. He plays every mode and he's willing to replace or buy anyone. But one thing I will say, if you say you're no money spent, I don't think you should be spending the MT if you don't have to. That being said, I'm not a big fan of this MJ card. I don't think he's very good on the offensive end of the court. He's very limited. He's just the exact same as the Pink Diamond MJ basically that we got a few months ago, but that MJ was not a very good card. One thing I will recommend as a no money spent player is that you don't spend a ton of MT, so I think you could definitely go, I'm just trying to think of a good budget shooting. I don't know how much Diamond James Harden is, but I think Diamond James Harden is relatively cheap at this point. I got my experts pulled up right here, so I'm gonna check real quick and see what Diamond James Harden's price is looking like. But if you can get Diamond James Harden for a reasonable amount of MT, whether that's like, I don't know, less than 40k MT, something like that, and he's he's looking like he's probably around 50-ish KMT. So if you can get him for 45 KMT, yeah, pick up a James Harden to play instead of Michael Jordan. He's definitely going to be an upgrade at that shooting guard position. You can sell MJ. You're not going to have to spend a ton of MT. And then other than that, maybe Penny Hardaway for Lillard, but you do have 2 good free point guards. I think having the size in Penny would be nice, but with people running Curry now, especially, I don't think it's a necessity. The rest of your team is super solid. Definitely don't think there's any changes you need to make. You could sell PG and replace him with a guy like Andre Kirilenko to save some more MT if you wanted to, but I would definitely upgrade this Michael Jordan to a guy like James Harden or even a diamond Andrew Wiggins, because you're going to notice a significant upgrade there. But besides that, I don't think there are any necessary changes. Can, like what I said, downgrade PG to AK and save yourself some MT while giving yourself still an elite defender. Pick up Penny Hardaway. So you do have a couple of options there, but overall, really good squad. All right, checking out the next squad from today, coming in from Adam. He's on next gen, got about 500 KMT, thinking of getting Curry for Jamal and D-Rob for Garnett. Wants to know my thoughts. And my thoughts, for one, 500 KMT definitely gives you a good amount of flexibility, and I like the way your squad is built. You have a lot of elite players. One thing I will say with Kawhi at the 2, you have to have a primary ball handler at the 1. So whether that's a guy like Jamal Crawford, you want to upgrade to Curry, that's really a decision you could make. I think upgrading to Curry is definitely a solid option, but I will say Curry is a bit undersized. Definitely going to be an elite offensive guard, probably the best offensive point guard in the game. Defensively, he may struggle a bit, but to be fair, Jamal Crawford isn't probably the best defender ever. Both of those guys are going to be just a bit of a liability because they're a little undersized and not the most elite of defenders in the world. Curry may even get you more on the defensive end of the court than Jamal Crawford does. So I think that's something you could do, is pick up Curry, because he's going to be that elite primary ball handler that you need running Kawhi at the 2. Other than that, I don't think you need to make any upgrades. I know D-Rob, in my opinion, and I have said this a lot, I think D-Rob is the best center in the game. That being said, when you already have Hakeem locked in and you grinded low 40 for Kevin Garnett, I don't think you need to upgrade your center position, because you have 2 elite center options who are free cards that you're not going to be able to make an EMT out of if you replace them. So for now, I think the only upgrade worth making is picking up a guy like Curry for Jamal Crawford, and besides that, save your MT for a better upgrade in the future. But yeah, really solid squad. I like the way that it's built for sure. Next through today comes in from He's Soul. He's got 70 KMT to work with, and honestly, I will say it's another really solid budget squad. One thing I will say though is Blake Griffin is not worth the MT that he is going for when you can get a guy like Draymond Green for in the 20 to 30,000 MT range. I will admit I don't know exactly how much Draymond is going for, but I am aware that Blake Griffin is going for a lot of MT. He is a buyout, but he's definitely an expensive card, whereas Draymond's going to be probably less than half the price. And I think that's probably worth upgrading for me personally. As you sell Blake, you pick up Draymond, all of a sudden you have 120 KMT, and that gives you more MT flexibility. Then you sell Scottie Pippen, you pick up Rudy Gay, and honestly, your team is going to be looking really good all of a sudden. If you have Kawhi and Rudy as your 3s, Draymond and Dolph, you could start Dolph at the 4 and then bring Draymond off the bench at the 4. That's probably what I would do. You'll have a bit of MT left over, not a ton of MT, but probably close to 50 KMT, and still a really, really good squad. But that's probably the one main upgrade that I would make, is starting Dolph at the 4, bringing Draymond off the bench at the 4, and then picking up Rudy instead of Pippen at the 3, selling Blake and selling Pippen, and you're going to have a really nice budget squad with some top tier talent in it as well. Second to last team for this video comes in from C4. He's got 211 KMT. He's looking to upgrade his front court, might buy back D-Rob, and looking at KD. And for me personally, with 211 KMT, this is one of those squads where I'll just be honest, I don't think D-Rob is the type of upgrade that you need to be making. I like your point guard situation a lot. I don't like Jamal Crawford at the 2. Rudy Gay and PG at the 3 is really good. Draymond and AK at the 4 is solid, and Jaren Jackson and George Mikan at the 5 is also super solid. But what I will say is I think there are a couple of things that you need to change up. The first thing I will say, sell this Paul George to free yourself up some more MT and move AK to the 3. Then what I would do is I'd move Rudy to the 4, Draymond to the bench, and I just changed my mind. What I would do instead is pick up Wes Unseld. Wes Unseld can be your backup 4. He can pick and pop. He can shoot the ball at a high level. Kobe base, good athlete. I did a gameplay on this card last week, and he's actually a really good card. If you can find one with a couple badges as well, that would be nice. But even without him, I think he's super solid, and he's definitely very, very reasonably priced. But then I think you need to pick up Klay Thompson. I think he's going to give you so much more than Jamal Crawford on the court. He is as good of a scorer as Jamal, but also has better size, a much better defender, and overall just a significantly better card at the shooting guard position. So I think if you pick up Klay for Jamal, and then you move IK to the 3, sell PG, and pick up a guy like Wes Unseld, your team's going to be looking super solid, and then you can potentially save your MT for a guy like Kawhi Leonard as well. So definitely a really solid squad, but you make those couple upgrades, and you're going to be really taking that team to the next level, I think. And then finally, we got the final team of the video coming in from Courage. He's got 650k, 5 outs with Penny, and creates with Harden off the bench. Courage then wants to upgrade his backup center. And I'll be completely honest, 650k is a lot of MT, but I don't think you need to upgrade upgrade your backup center. I think you have a super solid squad. Evan Mobley and Jaren Jackson are two of the top budget bigs in the game. He said he swapped Dr. J and Kawhi. So one thing I will say, I would sell Dr. J. I'll be honest. I think what you do here is you start Penny at the 1 still, but then you pick up Clay for the 2, run Kawhi at the 3, Rudy at the 4, and Evan Mobley at the 5. That's your starting lineup. That's going to be an elite starting lineup. Then coming off the bench, Marcus Smart can be your backup 1. That's fine. Harden at the backup 2 is fine. Paul George at the backup 3. Silas at the backup 4, and Jaren Jackson at the backup 5. If you really want to upgrade that center position, you can pick up David Robinson, go get yourself a 75th anniversary because you have the MT to do it. Pick up a D-Rob, put him at the center position, and then Evan Mobley or Jaren, whoever you prefer, off the bench at the backup 5. But other than that, the only upgrade I'm really making is picking up Clay to put him at the 2, Kawhi at the starting 3, and PG at the backup 3. Other than that, really good squad, and then it's up to you if you want to upgrade that center position or not. But yeah, that is going to do it for this video. If you did enjoy, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.